Good morning, everybody. Plenty of sunshine to get going here. It's brisk and chilly out there this morning. We are going to see some clouds rolling in this afternoon. Changeable sky, becoming mostly cloudy at that point. We're starting in the 30s. We'll end up in the low to mid 40s with a bit of a breeze. So certainly a bundle up kind of day today. We can't rule out a sprinkle or a flurry, and a few flurries overnight tonight in the hills. In the valley, we stay dry with temperatures falling into the lower 30s. Tomorrow, a little bit milder, in fact. Readings tomorrow are going to come up to around 50, maybe lower 50s, but then a front will arrive late in the day, and that's going to bring some rain showers, perhaps ending as a few wet snowflakes. And then it's windy and colder as we go into Thursday. Only in the 30s for highs. It'll feel like it's in the 20s, brisk and chilly on Friday. Then perhaps wet snow going over to rain on Saturday. Could be a sizable storm. By the way, spring begins this evening at 11:06. All right, that's your forecast. Let's check on today's top stories. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning, Dan. I'm Amanda Callahan. Here's your latest news update from Western Mass News. Another possible racist situation in the Southwick Regional School District just weeks after we first reported racially charged bullying in the district. Now we're told potentially racist graffiti was found inside a school bathroom, but details on who is responsible are still unclear. We reached out to the Southwick School District, the superintendent, and the school committee president for additional information, but did not hear back. One person was taken to the hospital after crashing their car into a store on Boston Road yesterday. The store owners sharing a photo with Western Mass News of the scene when they first arrived after receiving that initial call from police. The car crashed right through the front window of the store you can see going all the way to the back of the building. The store's owner tells us that store is a disaster, but he's grateful that no one inside was hurt. State lawmakers joined the Springfield City Council last night to discuss possible solutions amid the city's ongoing gun violence crisis after 31 people died at the hands of gun violence last year. The City Council voted to adopt resolutions based on a bipartisan amendment that will ensure violent repeat offenders, specifically those without a license to carry, are detained until trial.